Welcome back to our Facebook Lives that we do previewing playoffs and recapping playoffs. We're going to start this week of craziness with baseball semis, softball regionals, and all that with previewing 3A regional softball. The Monday half only right now. So tomorrow they start 3A softball regionals, and on Tuesday they'll finish it with two teams advancing the state. The other six will be done after these 2 days. Every team or six of the teams will get to Tuesday. Two of them will be put out tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to start with 3A Game 1, which is Rogers and Winfield. This region is tough on so many levels. A lot of good teams, a lot of good records. And Winfield and Rogers have already played once this year. They played in the Bash tournament on April 18th. They were the last game of the night. Rogers lost 8-3. Winfield had four in the first inning, four in the last inning to win with the time limit. It was weird with the time limit, so they were kind of playing how they could play with that time limit. But there was a controversial call that threw the game into a tizzy in the last inning and allowed Winfield to win. So they'll play tomorrow at 9 a.m. on field one. All the first round games tomorrow at 9 a.m. weather dependent and hopefully the weather holds off. Game two on field two tomorrow, Mars Hill, Whitesburg Christian. Mars Hill, Whitesburg Christian. This is a mismatch in my opinion. Mars Hill's won six of their last eight. They have not played Whitesburg this year, but Whitesburg is 2-2 in their last four games. They have a win over Bob Jones. So for this game, I expect Mars Hill to win, not handily, but just to win. And at this point, it's all that matters is if you win and not how you win. It's just get the win and move on. They'll play on field two tomorrow at 9 a.m. The next game is Lauderdale County, Carbon Hill at 9 a.m. on field three. Lauderdale County is 23-16. Carbon Hill is 19-22. One of two teams under 500 in this regional, Carbon Hill and Rogers. Lauderdale is 5-3 in their last eight games. They've won three of their last four. And Lauderdale has beat Rogers. They beat Rogers 9-8 in the if necessary game in regional and area tournament last week. It was a nearly identical box score. If you pull up the box score on Game Changer, you'll see there was one run each in the first, five each in the third, and then Rogers had two in the sixth. LC had three in the sixth to pull ahead and win the area tournament. But they both had regionals, is all that matters. Carbon Hill, since April 24th, is 4-2. They lost to Gordo and Winfield. So Carbon Hill, I couldn't really find a whole lot on them to point out, but they're here. They're good at this point. Everybody's good. Nobody here is here by accident at this point in the season. They do have wins over Gordo and Marion County. They've also played a tough schedule though. Hackleburg, Hamilton, Gordo, Muscle Shoals, Winfield, which was an area game, and Cordova. Winfield. I think Gordo missed regionals, or they're going to the Central or the East. Not really sure on them. But Hamilton's here, and Hackleburg is also here at regionals for the various classes they're all in. That game is on field three tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Sportsplex. At 9 a.m. tomorrow, the fourth game and final game of 3A opening round is Madison Academy and Culver Heights. In my opinion, this is the toughest matchup for the Shoals teams that any of them could have had. Madison Academy is 28-5. Culver Heights 26-13. But I also think it's a good matchup for Culver Heights because if they can get out to a lead early, you never know. And I'm not sure how the home teams work in the first round of regionals. I want to say it's area seed is how they do the home teams for the first game of regionals. Not 100% certain though. If you know that for sure though, let me know in the comments. However, Madison Academy 28-5. They have beaten Lauderdale County and Mars Hill a couple times this year. Culver Heights 26-13. And Culver Heights started out 12-0, so since then they started out 12-0 or 11-0, something like that. They're 3-3 in their last three. They beat Field Campbell twice, lost to Mars Hill twice. That was the area tournament, and they beat Covenant Christian and lost to Belgreen. So for Culver Heights, the last few games, it's been hit or miss really with who they play. Seems like Madison Academy though has lost to Athens twice. Two of their five losses are to Athens. They can put up runs, and they've also beaten Skyline, the defending 1A champions from last year. twice, beat Marcel twice, and beat Lauderdale County once. So previewing Monday only. So we're going to just dive into the Monday side of this. Each team will play 2 games tomorrow on Monday. The first game at 9 a.m., second game at 1:45. Every game will be on field 1, 2, 3, and 4 tomorrow. And all 3A is scheduled to be on field 1, 2, and 3. If you're not familiar, that is a top pod of the fields. It's the first group of dirt fields when you pull in to the Sportsplex. Field 1 is the UNA backstop. So on field 1, the backstop is purple. It says North Alabama on it. The other 3 did not have that. That's where UNA played Alabama at. The last couple of years, they've come up here and played. So tomorrow, game 1, Winfield Rogers. For this game, it is what it is. I think it's a tough matchup, but Winfield's 37-7. The game they played against Rogers, Alana Davis was 2 for 3. Chloe Thigpen 2 for 2. Both had RBI. Piper Gooch 1 for 2 with RBI. And Chloe and Natalie Ford each threw 2 innings each. 4 innings. I think it was a 4-inning game, and they each threw 2 innings. So very solid game for Rogers. Got away from them late. And it was also 8:15 or 8:30 start time, so it wasn't like it was a prime of the day time of the day kind of game. It was a late game, so you never know, people getting tired and everything like that. But Winfield, since April 17th, the day before the Bash tournament, is 9-3. They've lost to Hackleburg, Hartselle, and West Limestone, who all 3 made regionals, and are all 3 expected to get back to state this year, or to get to state. They've also beaten Scottsboro, Jasper twice, and they split with Northside, who is in 5A in regionals in the East this year. So Winfield has beat some pretty good teams. I think if you get past game 1 and see what happens, you never know. Sometimes that first game loss can wake you up, and you start playing your best softball the next 3 games and get to state. I've seen it with Brooks last couple of years. They got to state, lost their first game at state, and then went to finish 3rd place one year, 2nd place the next year. And so for this region, it's very tough. The key here is this, though. You get 1 win tomorrow, you get to Tuesday. So you win once tomorrow, get to Tuesday. That's all that matters. So if you win your first game tomorrow at 9 a.m., you're playing Tuesday regardless, whether it is at 10:45 or in the Q1 game, or whether it's in the loser bracket because you lost your second game or whatnot. However, it would be fun to see Rogers, Mars Hill, Lauderdale County, and Colbert Heights all win tomorrow. If that was to happen, that would mean virtually one of them is guaranteed a state tournament berth, because they would all play the winner bracket tomorrow afternoon at 1:45. And then 2 of them would play in the Q1 game at 10:45 on Tuesday for the state tournament berth. The other would play in game 12, which is the Q2 game. No, it's an elimination game before the Q2 game, which is at 5, yes, on Tuesday. 3A should have pretty good weather for these 2 days. It's going to be a little bit colder, so it'll be probably in the 60s, maybe the 70s. So it should be good weather for softball. It will be colder, but it won't be 30 degrees. It won't be 110 degrees. That's the good part here. However, one last time to run through it. Winfield Rogers at 9 a.m., field 1. Mars Hill Whitesburg Christian, 9 a.m., field 2. Lauderdale County Carbon Hill, field 3 at 9 a.m. Madison Academy Colbert Heights, 9 a.m. on field 4. Tomorrow at 1:45, game 5 and 6 are the loser bracket games. So the loser of game 1 and 2 play on field 1. Game 6 will be on field 2. That's the losers of 3 and 4, game 3 and game 4. And then game 7 is on field 3. Game 8 is on field 4. That's the 2 winner bracket games. So game 7 and 8, winner bracket. Game 5 and 6, loser bracket tomorrow. And that is all the local teams they have played tomorrow. There's also 2A regionals, and I think 5A starts tomorrow also. However, we only have 3A tomorrow, so that's all we'll be covering. Beyond that, we'll be back out here tomorrow night to recap tomorrow's action and then preview Tuesday with 3A, 4A, and 7A getting started on Tuesday. 3A Monday, Tuesday, 4A Tuesday, Wednesday, 7A Tuesday, Wednesday, 1A Wednesday, Thursday. That is all we have for tonight. We will see y'all later tomorrow.